that killer attitude, it's going to be a great fight.
Stephen A's question seemed to speak only to the quality of the competition, not also to the business of boxing.
Floyd would be more involved with the fighting aspect. Like, all right, let me come train. Let's train together. Let's do this. Like,
yeah, I think it is. They can come and, bro, I appreciate anything that man even reaching out and all the game that he done gave me so far. That's the goal. Nobody can tell me no different about that dude. So he the GOAT.
For sure.
Floyd Mayweather and Max Kellerman debate Shakur Stevenson versus Devin Haney while praising Shakur's talent and calling him future undisputed champion material.
Provided the fans with lots of thrills through the years. Excellent top fighter, but not a guy who someone looked at, like you say, maybe Tank.
Listen, when Floyd Money Mayweather personally pulls you aside and starts whispering secrets about defense and ring IQ into your ear, you're either about to become a superstar or you're walking into the most elaborate setup in boxing history.
Before, and I talked about this the other day, as far as so many belts, so many champions, but if we can sit down and come to the table.
Max Kellerman explains the matchup carefully and calls it a smart business move capable of generating massive pay-per-view revenue.
Is following him.
That's what I'm asking. You've been the best at playing the boxing game. When you said TBE, in the ring, someone else can have that. I'm talking about the whole thing. You're right. You've played the boxing game better than anyone. The way you think about it, which is a lot of times the way promoters think about it, is not just in terms of the quality of the athlete, obviously.
And right now, Shakur Stevenson is standing at that exact crossroads, clutching Floyd's wisdom like it's the nuclear codes to boxing greatness.
Made the most fucking money, Floyd Mayweather.
Yep.
I feel like he be showing you love. Like,
that's my God.
Yeah.
That's my God, bro.
Look, I saw
called me the other day. He just called me the other day. He called me, what, 2 days ago?
What'd he say?
He had a whole lot to say. I don't like to put it like...
I give me a little something. You ain't got to say the whole shit, but it's Floyd, nigga. You know niggas... He's an idol, Floyd.
One night he was just saying he don't think that I should be the B side of this. Of this upcoming fight. He think I should be the A side. And he really felt strongly about it, but no, it is what it is, bro. I appreciate Floyd. That's my God. I wouldn't even never say nothing bad about Floyd.
Yeah.
But also, bro, A, B, C, D, E. Put me in that ring with that nigga, gang.
Whatever, right? Whatever.
Put me in the ring, bro, and I'm ready to show you.
While Devin Haney watches from across the division with the kind of smile that says, "I've been waiting for you." This isn't just a potential fight. This is a collision course between two egos so massive, they might actually bend the space-time continuum of the welterweight division. Floyd Mayweather himself has declared that Shakur should be the A side in any negotiation.
That momentum and daring to be great, enhancing his greatness. We all know he's motivated and inspired by his mentor, Terrence Bud Crawford, that his next fight should be versus Devin the Dream Haney, moving up to the 147-pound division, because with that victory, he'll become a 5-division world champion, 3-division lineal champion, because I'm sure that Turkey Al Sheikh Ring will put that fight, will put the ring belt on the line, because I believe that Devin Haney is probably the best welterweight at the moment. He'll accomplish all of that by the age of 29. 5-division world champion, 3-division lineal champion. Come on now. Hey, Shakur Stevenson, you the WBO champion, 140-pound division. You could easily petition the WBO to make you the immediate mandatory to Devin the Dream Haney. I think that's the best fight right there.
Which is basically the boxing equivalent of your rich uncle announcing you're his favorite nephew at Thanksgiving dinner while everyone else is eating turkey and swallowing their pride. But here's where it gets absolutely wild. Max Kellerman, the man who's seen every boxing drama unfold from ringside to courtroom,
Shakur off so that maybe Shakur would come out and try to land a big shot on him. He knew that was his only chance, and I knew that was his only chance. So if Shakur came out and went right at him like that, that would have gave him a chance to try to land something big and lucky. Other than that, he's never had the feet to keep up with to keep up with Shakur. because Shakur has some of the best feet in the game, and people don't understand that. What makes it so hard is that his foot game is so on point that he can make you miss this much. Because now, used to be he would jump way back. Now he's not doing that anymore. Now he's just stepping back just enough to make you miss so he can get what he wants after you miss. That makes him highly dangerous. And to see him improve on that and come bring it to the forefront in the biggest fight of his career
is calling this matchup not just exciting, but a legitimate pay-per-view goldmine. The kind of fight that makes casual fans suddenly become experts overnight, and experts lose their minds trying to predict the outcome. The problem? Actually getting these two generational talents in the same ring requires more than just athletic ability.
So it's like maybe something that Devin can definitely go out up there with ease, only need to deal with the size, but he's probably going to have the speed advantage because he's a smaller guy coming up. So, I mean, you tell me, do you feel like that's going to be harder than the Lomachenko fight?
No. I think Loma probably be his hardest top 2 or 3 fights in his whole career. I could predict that even going to the end, to say if Devin fight 8, 9, 10 more years, that'd be one of his top 2 or 3 hardest fights because the age that he fought him. Loma was at his very peak. He was at his peak. He was older. He was right there at his...
It requires professional talks, ironclad agreements, and apparently the kind of diplomatic negotiations usually reserved for hostage situations or international peace treaties. Mayweather dropped this truth bomb like he was teaching a masterclass in boxing business 101, reminding everyone that you can have all the footwork in the world, but if you can't close a deal, you're just dancing in an empty room. Meanwhile, Shakur's sitting there.
So, no, it won't be as hard as that. But size-wise, yeah, that's a big factor because we saying the dude that was just lightweight a couple years ago, but Dad wanted to be great. That's just something that's in him. It's only a few dudes like that in boxing right now that really want to do that kind of stuff. So, he got my blessing in making the fight. Like, Bill did ask me about it maybe a few weeks ago. I don't know how much further it got, but he did ask me what I thought. Like, easy work.
Pretty much you can see he's willing to fight anybody. Like, he doesn't really care who he fights.
He'll fight now too. It ain't we ain't doing no weight class or none of that. Like,
absorbing every word from Floyd like a sponge made of ambition and championship dreams. Learning techniques that have made Mayweather untouchable for decades. Mastering defensive wizardry that makes opponents question their entire career choices. Roy Jones Jr., yes, that Roy Jones Jr., the man who redefined what physically possible means in a boxing ring, has been watching Shakur with the kind of fascination usually reserved for discovering a new species, praising his footwork, his speed, his strategy, and most importantly, his uncanny ability to make opponents miss by margins so small they're
But obviously he believes in himself and that he will beat Devin Haney. To that, Devin Haney responded, "I believe you're a tremendous fighter, but I'll beat you." And then Devin Haney stated, "Well, I want to fight your little brother, who is Keyshawn Davis, superstar, WBO former lightweight world champion, who called out Devin Haney and stated because he didn't like how Devin Haney treated him when they was younger, when Shakur brought him around, so on and so forth." So Devin Haney said, "You know something? I want to fight Keyshawn Davis. Keyshawn, let's make it happen. And then you're the little brother," because Shakur and Keyshawn made it abundantly clear they have no interest in fighting each other because of their relationship.
Practically microscopic, yet so effective. They're absolutely devastating. Roy's not just impressed, he's borderline mesmerized by how Shakur plans his movements, like a chess grandmaster playing three-dimensional chess while his opponents are still trying to figure out checkers. But let's talk about the elephant wearing boxing gloves in the room. Devin Haney and that rehydration clause controversy that's got more drama than a reality TV show marathon.
Storyline. So now Shakur puts up a cryptic message and responds and says, "Be careful what you wish for, you just might get it." Well, remember, Devin Haney made an offer when he was at 135 to stay at 135 to fight Shakur. Shakur didn't like the offer, which means Devin Haney's more than willing to make the fight. Devin Haney is saying if you want to make the fight, his father, trainer, manager, Bill Haney, CEO of DHP, Devin Haney Promotions, is saying, we'll make the fight gladly, but we're not doing a 10-pound rehydration clause. So Shakur is saying, be careful what you wish for. Skills pay the bills, as Shakur said. And Shakur said he don't like people putting rehydration clause on people because it handicaps them and you can't get credit. Well, then he says on Najee with Cigar Talk, and Devin Haney's not a
Haney's team has drawn a line in the sand, absolutely refusing to agree to a 10-pound rehydration clause, which has Shakur Stevenson firing back with accusations that these clauses are nothing but handcuffs designed to handicap fighters and strip them of credit for their performances, basically saying the whole system is rigged to protect certain fighters from facing the consequences of their weight-cutting choices. Shakur's not whispering these complaints in private. He's shouting them from the rooftops, calling out what he sees as fundamental unfairness in how modern boxing contracts get structured, demanding that if two warriors are going to step into that squared circle, they should do it on terms that don't favor one side before the opening bell even rings.
It's an issue. Now, if Keyshawn comes up, or if they even do a catch weight, a 143, 144, it's going to be a very interesting fight because I think Devin has more tools and more IQ right now, but Keyshawn is different. So when you got a guy that's different, and that's why I also said that he's not just back, he's different. You understand me? So when you got a guy that has that intangibleness about him, where he can be a different guy when it's time to be a different guy, you can never count him out. However, if I were pushing Keyshawn, I would have another fight or two before I fight Devin, just for experience purposes. And if I was Devin, I would try to jump on it right now before he gets those couple fights, because the more experience he gets, the harder he's going to become to beat.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough fight, you know, for Keyshawn Davis. And I think in many respects, Devin Haney too. You can't take
the audacity, the nerve, the absolute chaos of watching two undefeated champions argue about pounds and percentages while fans are screaming, just fight already, into the void of social media. And then there's Mickey Bay, cool as a cucumber in a freezer, calmly dissecting this potential super fight while everyone else is losing their collective minds, pointing out that Haney can comfortably move up in weight.
And it's a fair question. Is he ready now? Is he ready a fight or two from now? But that's the fight, really. If you really want to you want to scream, I'm back. That's the type of fight that you want, because obviously it's in the Turkey Al-Sheikh universe, and that's a fight that's going to get made. You're going to make a career high payday. But if you are able to beat Devin Haney, brother, when I say the sky's the limit, the sky is the limit. But that ain't going to be no easy pickings for both guys. The weight is a concern, but I would look.
And will likely possess a speed advantage because Shakur is the smaller fighter navigating bigger waters. Bay drops another bombshell that probably made half the boxing world spit out their coffee. He genuinely believes Lomachenko was a tougher opponent for Haney than Stevenson would be, which is either the coldest take in boxing analysis or the most brutally honest assessment, depending on whether you're Team Shakur or Team Reality Check. But wait, there's more, because apparently one rivalry wasn't enough to satisfy the boxing god's appetite for drama.
He wants the big fights, and this could be the final hurdle to a big fight. But this is a big hurdle. Telling you, remember I said it, this is a big, I might even do a separate video on this, because again, I think a lot of people maybe don't know. Figueroa has come from boxing stock. Like, this guy's been doing it a while, he's not damaged goods, and again, he's only lost to Stephen Fulton. Do you know what I mean? And look at some of the names I read off that he's beaten. Experienced names, guys that have fought other guys that were good fights. It's not easy. All right, Shakur Stevenson blast WBC and responds to being stripped of a 135-pound title. This is a bit wild. It's a bit wild. And the reason it's a bit wild, so many different reasons actually, but one of the biggest reasons is that Shakur's always said, I want to go up to fight Tio, but I want to come back down to 135. So basically, he's almost telling the WBC, let me go.
Devin Haney has now dragged Keyshawn Davis into this mess, calling him out first in what analysts are describing as both a strategic power move and a personal statement that's creating an intriguing storyline across multiple divisions, turning the lightweight and junior welterweight classes into something resembling a very violent reality show where everyone wants to fight everyone and nobody wants to back it down. Roy Jones Jr. couldn't resist weighing in on the Haney versus Davis possibility too, suggesting a catch weight around 143 or...
WBC are going through right now, and this battle with Zuffa, where, you know, they've got some real big players and power over there, and they're saying F the belts, and WBC are fighting, saying none of the belts mean stuff. The last thing you want to do has have a public spat, a public back and forth with one of the biggest names in boxing right now. Shakur Stevenson is one of the biggest names in boxing. And the thing about Shakur as well, you piss him off, this guy will go straight to social media and make it known that he's pissed off. And that's what he's done. He's made it known what the WBC are wanting or wanted for him, or from him, sorry, which was $100,000. Now, a lot of you might say, well, one second, his last fight wasn't for the WBC, it was for the WBO and the ring title. Why did the WBC want any money from him? The WBC have a clause, I think it's either 7.3 or 7.4, yeah, where even if you do not fight for the WBC belt, if you're a champion of their belt, i.e. which Shakur Stevenson was, you have to pay 50% of the sanctioning fee as though the WBC belt was on.
144 pounds would create the most balanced battlefield, acknowledging that while Haney currently holds advantages in tools, ring IQ, and experience, basically all the stuff that wins professional boxing matches, Keyshawn possesses that unpredictable, unique style that makes him dangerous in the way a wild card is dangerous. The kind of fighter who might do something nobody expects because he's still writing his own boxing rulebook as he goes. Meanwhile, everyone's trying to figure out where Shakur fits into this chaotic puzzle, especially when you consider that many serious boxing minds believe he should be challenging Devin Haney immediately, right now, yesterday even, to prove himself against truly elite competition, instead of taking safer fights that pad the record but don't answer the real questions about who belongs at the absolute top of the sport. The really juicy part? There's legitimate talk about Shakur's next fight being against Devin Haney at 147 pounds, which could potentially crown him a 5-division world champion and cement his legacy as one of the most accomplished fighters of his generation before he's even hit his prime years. 5 divisions. Do you understand how absurd that sounds? That's not just moving up in weight. That's conquering entire territories of boxing real estate, planting your flag in multiple weight classes like you're some kind of pugilistic conquistador. Shakur Stevenson has been highlighted repeatedly as one of the most technically gifted fighters in boxing today. Someone who makes elite-level competition look effortless, reading opponents like they're children's books written in large font, making adjustments mid-fight that lesser fighters wouldn't recognize even if you gave them a week to study film. But let's not pretend it's all sunshine and roses in Shakur's world, because Conor Benn lurks as a completely different type of challenge, bringing serious power, especially with those body shots that can change a fighter's entire night, using feints effectively enough to create openings where none should exist, representing the kind of dangerous opponent who doesn't care about your technical brilliance if he can land that one perfect shot that rewrites the entire narrative of the fight. And just when you thought the drama couldn't get any thicker, the WBC decided to join the party by stripping Shakur Stevenson of his 135-pound title in a controversy that sparked more debate than a political election. All because he expressed intentions to move up in weight for bigger challenges while maintaining plans to eventually return to 135 pounds, which apparently violated some sacred covenant in the WBC's increasingly complicated rulebook. Oh, and here's the kicker that really salted the wound. The WBC also required Shakur to pay a 50% sanctioning fee even when the belt wasn't on the line, which many people, and by many people, I mean basically everyone with functioning brain cells and a basic understanding of fairness, consider completely unreasonable, potentially corrupt, and definitely emblematic of everything wrong with boxing's alphabet soup of sanctioning bodies that seem more interested in collecting fees than actually serving the fighters or the sport. So here we stand, watching this incredible drama unfold across multiple weight classes, with Floyd Mayweather playing mentor to Shakur, Devin Haney refusing rehydration clauses while calling out multiple opponents, Keyshawn Davis entering the conversation as the wild card nobody knows how to read, and the WBC stripping belts and demanding fees like some kind of medieval tax collector with a grudge and a gavel. The question isn't whether these fights will happen. It's whether boxing's broken political system, contradictory regulations, ego-driven negotiations, and sanctioning body nonsense will allow them to happen before we're all too old to care. Before the moment passes and these potential super fights become nothing but tragic what-ifs that old fans argue about in comment sections decades from now. Wondering what could have been if everyone had just gotten in the ring and settled it like the warriors they claim to be.